I believe there's a huge difference in the way that successful people problem solve and figure out their goals versus unsuccessful people. And one of the things that we've noticed is typically successful people versus unsuccessful people don't come from a certain type of background or from a certain race or a certain part of the world or a certain demographic. Typically when we look at successful people versus unsuccessful people, it's quite often a mindset thing, and it's typically how their mind is programmed and how they face things. And I'm going to give you an example. If there's a challenge or there's a task and you have an unsuccessful person versus a successful person, regardless of their background or any of their beliefs or what they've been raised in, typically the unsuccessful person is going to look at what's required of the task. They're going to look at what they want, and they're going to look at the stages in between the gap, and they're going to stop and they're going to limit themselves and say, well, I don't think I can do that, or I'm afraid to do that, or I've never done that before, or I don't think that I'm able to do that. Whereas a successful person is going to stop and look at it and say, well, I've never done this before, so what do I have to do to figure it out? Or I'm afraid to do this, but what can I do to overcome that fear? Or I've never done this before and I don't have the skills. Well, how do I get those skills? So what I want to really encourage you, if you're watching this and you've got dreams or you've got goals, whether they're big or they're small, and you feel as though you've had a goal or you've had something that you've wanted to do maybe for a year or maybe for your entire life, I want to encourage you, just like the rudder on a ship is so small, but it steers the course of the ship, it all comes down to mindset. And when you compare successful people to unsuccessful people, if you feel as though there's somewhere where you want to go in life and you feel like you're not there, I want to challenge you not to stand back and to label somebody successful and think maybe it's because of their background or because they have an advantage or because of what family they were born in, but it's typically, most often, it's a mindset thing. So as you work through it and you look at your mind and you evaluate your thoughts, I want to encourage you to look at what you're excited about and maybe look at something that you've got as a goal and look at that gap and ask yourself, how can I bridge that gap one step at a time?